that we must now do something for ourselves or suffer the consequences. If we cannot depend on the government to look after us, then who can we depend on? Many of us are being lulled to sleep by the so-called atmosphere of peace and tranquility produced by the breakup of the Soviet Union and by the nations appearing to unite with America. And Mr. Bush seems to be riding the crest of a mighty wave that has put him on top of the nations of the earth. And he seems to be saying, like Babylon, I sit as a queen and I shall see no sorrow. But in the night, a hand started writing on the wall. Your kingdom has been weighed in the balance and found wanting. You cannot depend on President Bush or no president, whether it is Bush or Wilder or Jackson or Johnson. Nobody who sits in the White House will be able to deliver for black people. There's something you have to know about this in order that you may not depend on government to do for you what you and I have got to get up now and do for ourselves. Listen to me carefully. Just a casual look in the newspapers will tell you that all the economies of the Western world are in a decline. That's right. That's right. Great Britain, decline. That's right. France, decline. Belgium, decline. Spain, Portugal, Italy, decline. West Germany was a thriving economy, but they had to spend tremendous amounts of money in the reunification. So their economy is not as strong. So the European nations, in their weakness, decided, let's unite. That's right. And in 1992, the common market of Europe will kick in, making Europe possibly the biggest market for goods in the world. America, as the leader of the Western world, is in a dying economic situation. The dollar appears strong, but is backed by no sound value. Are you listening to me, brothers and sisters? Banks closing. President Bush spending more time on foreign policy while the domestic scene begins to unravel. America is a strong country, all right, but not as strong. And the future looks dim, according to analysts. 10 years ago, among the 6 major banks in the world, 1 or 2 were American banks. Now, in the top 20, you may find 1 American bank. The capital of finance, you would think, is Wall Street. But the #1 economy in the world is Japan. And she has been number. We have got to develop an economic program to save our people. This economic program must not be tied to a people's belief. We can't ask black people, are you Muslim or Christian or Baptist or Methodist or Episcopalian or Church of God in Christ? Are you a Democrat or Republican? You're black and you're catching hell, and we are a family, so we've got to make a program for all or for none at all. Now, you know, President Johnson promised us he would make a war on poverty, and then sent money to fight the war in Vietnam. And here we are today, poor, ragged, hungry, naked, out of doors, and we are becoming more and more savage every day in our evil mistreatment of one another. It's hard today to say to black people that white people are evil when it's your black brother coming in your door, taking your TV, robbing you, raping you, shooting you down. It's no longer white people doing this. It is us doing it to one another. And we have become so cold and callous that our own lives mean nothing to us. If we can't depend on America and the government, then what program is available that we can get busy and do something for self? I'm saying to the Muslims, if we set up a restaurant, that is not going to help black people. You set up a little bakery on the south side, I mean, that's nice. You give a few jobs, you know, that's nice. We'll applaud you. And people will say, oh, the Muslims got a restaurant. Oh, the Muslims got a bakery. Oh. The Muslims got a little factory over there, employs 100 people. Oh. The Christians got a little store over here. Oh. But look at the suffering of our people. It's broader than a little mom and pop operation. It's bigger than what individual churches can do or mosques can do. The problem is so large. We'll never solve it with millions of dollars. It takes billions of dollars to solve this problem. Set aside $10. 10 million people with $10 in 1 month, that's 100 million. In 1 year, that's 1,200 million in our bank. Now look at this, brothers. Three years from now, if that just stayed at that rate, it'd be nearly $4 billion plus the interest on it. We would have to find a safe instrument to put it in till we're ready to use it, because the banks are not too safe. And we sure can't put it in a savings account that only insures $100,000. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, with the first $1 million, we would set up our own National Reserve Bank. I will be sitting down this week with some bankers because I want to understand how to set up a national banking system. You're not getting nothing from white folks in their banks, and hardly getting anything from black banks. You put your money in, you get 5%, 5 1/4, 5 1/8. Your money is loaned out at 12%, 14%. You go to get a car loan, they may not give you the loan unless you got something in your bank equal to what you're asking them to loan you. You are so disunited, somebody can sell you life insurance. You paying for insurance for your life. And all these nickels, dimes, and dollars that they're collecting on life insurance in every major city of America, it's the insurance companies that are building all these fine office buildings, ain't got nobody in them. Well, if everybody's buying up America, the Japanese buying it, the Dutch buying it, the British buying it, the Koreans buying it, why don't we own a piece of the rock? Well, what would we buy? I know you would want me to buy a barbecue stand. I'm only teasing. You might want me to buy something frivolous, a hotel, a motel. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the thing that all economics is built on is land. We have got to own some of this earth that we can call our own. I'm going to give you a picture and then we'll leave. Joseph in the Bible was sold into bondage. I would like to see at least 100 millionaires among the Muslims in Chicago. If you're rich, I'm rich. And I can always come and tell you about the needs of a nation. But if you poor and we poor, we can't be around here poor. I want to see rich Muslims.
All right, family. Good evening. Good evening. Glad that you can be tuning in, whether you're watching on IG, Facebook, or Instagram, because we are streaming on all 3 platforms for this major topic that we want to talk about tonight. Now, I want to slide right in on what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. And the reason why I am even doing this, and the reason why I know some of the things that I know, and the reason that I am the one that I am, and why we started New Millennium Bankers, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan inspired all of it. He motivated all of it. Why? Because he has been teaching us about these Zionist Jews for decades. Primarily since, we can say, 1979, 77. He's been teaching us specifically about the power of these Zionist Jews that control the very dollar in our pocket. And we got the facts to talk about it. We got the books. We got the history. We got it all, right? So whether you are watching on Facebook or Instagram, make sure if you're on Instagram, you can come on over to our YouTube channel and watch it on our YouTube channel, but we're going to stream it live. But this is part 2 to this. Now, we as a New Millennium Banker, we are running a project called Project Exodus 10,000. But we have seen that since we are so distracted and we don't really understand the need for economic empowerment, because we can't seem to agree about money, we can't seem to come together and really agree about how we should get money, what we should do to get money out of the way as an issue. We have to come and teach the science of money. We have to teach the science of business. As you heard the minister say, we would want him to go and buy a barbecue stand, our motel, our hotel, a grocery store, something like that. But he said, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, with the first $1 million, we'll set up a national bank. Now, that was back in like 90, 91, that lecture. So powerful because what he said is more relevant today and what we need to do than when he said it. So we, as New Millennium Bankers and FardMoney Network, we are bringing to us a new model banking system that is fintech, financial technology, that is powered by the blockchain. The blockchain distributes out these assets, this wealth, digitally, borderless. It don't have any borders. The blockchain don't got no borders. The blockchain don't see color, don't see religion, don't see none of that, right? The blockchain don't see none of that. Unlike the traditional banks that gives us nothing. So this is part two to how did the Zionists, small percentage of the planet, small percentage of America, how did they take over the United States and become the rulers of the greatest nation, the greatest country in the last 6,000 years? And how can we use some of their strategies to benefit us? Because we are their replacements. However, they are not going to get out of the way until we in position to move them out of the way. It got to be a showdown. It got to be war. This is what it got to be. I know some of us don't want to talk about that. Some of us might don't want to hear that, but it's true. You know, don't worry about it. We got to. The showdown has to take place. Who's going to rule? And all of this is based on money. That's why they took control of the money in 1913. They wanted the control of the power, because if we got control of the money and then we tax the people that make the money, then we could put the politicians in our pocket. We can put the educational system in our pocket, and we can teach workism. We can teach not entrepreneurship, not business ownership, not investmentship, but we can teach employee mindset to the slaves, and this includes everybody, and make them pay taxes on it, and have them thinking that they are reaching some type of gain because they might have some credit. Now, we have a set of books that specifically breaks down this stuff, that specifically gives us the history from the Jew. Let me say that again, because I know some of y'all missed that. We got the history on their role in the transatlantic slave trade that some of us are afraid to talk about. We don't want to talk about this, right? We want to talk about everything else, but we don't want to talk about how the majority of us, with all this information and all this technology, all this out here in the world, got to get up and go to work in the morning. I at work right now. Oh, well, brother, we got to do something to feed ourselves. Yeah, you got to do. But why you don't think? See, as long as you work for somebody, it limits your ability to think for yourself. So you can talk for yourself, but you're not really thinking for yourself, because when somebody hits you with an opportunity, since we have been so colonized, so put in the grave mentally, we run away from it. We make excuses. I ain't had time. Well, hey, Allah, God, Jehovah, whatever you call them, that's the number one thing that he blessed you with when you was born, right? Time. How are you using it? Right? That's what he blessed you with, time and free will. These are the two things that everybody born, every human being born, the creator, whatever you want to call them, gave everybody. Time, free will. What are we doing with it? Is we spending our time being more productive, trying to be more free? Are we striving to get free so we can focus on what we really want to do, where we find our purpose, our gift, and cultivate that and become who we want to be, however we see ourselves. But as long as we're working, that's more time that you're not spending to be your best self. So money in this world has to get out of the way as an issue. That has to get out of the way as an issue. Why? Because it is an issue and it's a big obstacle. So how do we get over it though? How do we get surpassed that? We're dealing with how the Zionists. How did the Zionists, so-called Jews, become the rulers of America? How did they do this? Well, they first had to take over the retail department. Then they had to set up the banks, take over the banks, and then they eventually, after taking over the money, they took over the education, the politics, and they also took over the religion. They also took over the religion structured system. That's why a Christian pastor has to be licensed from the government of America to preach the word of God. So how can you be sent by God, but you have to be licensed from the enemy of the righteous God? Now, if you don't think that the government of America is a wicked regime, then you just blind. You haven't awakened yet. Like, it should be clear that the government of the United States really don't care about nobody. And if you black in America, they give 2 cents about you and your life and your well-being. Because we don't get any freedom, any justice, any equality. We're not up in their social equality. They don't give us that. They don't let us up in there. Because we will see how filthy and unrighteous they really are. How wicked they really are in practice and in deeds and in intention. Then we will automatically want to separate. So they don't open up those doors. They keep us out while they continue to rule, continue to put us to sleep, continue to set up the schools, and don't teach nothing. But so as they took control of this, and their whole goal was to take control, and they started this process, it became official in 1913 that they was going to rule America when they set up the Federal Reserve banking system that prints the dollar in your pocket, in my pocket. They print it. That's why their face is on it. They put the president's face on it to make you think that, and they got it, they named it the Federal Reserve. Look at the trick. See, when we hear Federal Reserve, we think of the federal government. But the Federal Reserve is not a department or controlled by the federal government. They have no jurisdiction. They have no superior. The Federal Reserve don't have no superior. The president can't direct their policies. The Attorney General can't direct their policies. No governor, no mayor can direct the Federal Reserve policies. This is a fact, not the vice president. Nobody can direct what they do. Nobody can stop them. Now, this automatically violates the Constitution to the T. And they have set up taxation, which the founding fathers didn't want, because this is only the second time in American history have the citizens of America paid personal income tax. This happened a time back during I think one of the wars under Abraham Lincoln, where they made the citizens pay taxes to help fight the war. But as soon as the war was over with, a couple years later, taxes was taken back off the table. And then after 1913, they brought back income taxes. So we've been paying income taxes all the while. But where are our taxes going? Huh? We don't think about that now. Where they go? You might think about it, but you don't, or we don't see it as a real problem. We use the cliche, the passive cliche, the slave cliche. It is what it is. I have to with the government. I'm the IRS, they're going to come and do this and do that. See, that's punk stuff. How the hell you gonna make me pay taxes? You owe me reparations. Goddamn government owe me goddamn money. I don't owe them a goddamn thing. Where my goddamn reparations at? For the transatlantic slave trade. They ain't never gave it to us. So where is that? Where's the 40 acres in a mule? But we gonna willingly pay taxes and encourage it to the next generation? Then we got some of our silly brothers and sisters that think credit. We pump credit and we ain't studied this system to understand credit, what makes this system run. Credit is at the root of the Federal Reserve System. It's credit. If nobody did any credit, the system would fall overnight. Everybody cut up their credit cards. Nobody got a mortgage. Nobody got a car loan. Nobody got a student loan. Nobody got a business loan. Nobody did any credit with these central banks. They would fall overnight. But before that happened, you will see helicopter Ben. Who is helicopter Ben? That's that helicopter money when they send out that free stimulus checks to stimulate the economy and to stimulate us with some free cash so we will go and spend and put the money back into the economy. It's all a scam. We're dealing with the biggest scam ever. And there's so many tricks to it, but there's so many holes in it if we would just take the time out and study it. That's all we have to do, and it ain't even complex. With all the information, all the data that we got, with all the wealthy, rich people teaching us this science, it's not complex. So they took control because they took over the banking system. How is it that every nation in the world had their own central bank? Meaning this is the bank that directs the policies, the interest rates and everything dealing with this government currency. Now, us black people in America, we're a nation inside of a nation. Why you say that, brother? Well, because the government of the United States, we can't claim it. We can't claim America as our nation. Why? Because they don't give us equal justice. They don't give us equal rights. They don't give us that. So we can't claim them as ours, right? We can't say that I'm an American. Well, anybody that said that, they're supposed to get equal justice under the law. But they don't give us that. Remember, we 3/5 of a human being. Don't you forget that. Now, they took over the God that we worship. They took over the person that we think is our savior. They took over, most importantly, they took over the education system. This is critical. Because if you like me, I grew up in the deep South. I went to public schools. I went to a Baptist Christian church. This is where I grew up in. And the American lifestyle, we fell in love with. We fell in love with sports. How about some of us right now? We so conscious, but we still in love with sports. The NFL started today, right? Everybody watching it. Everybody celebrating. Now, us black folks, have we forgot? See, we so easy to let the enemy off the hook. We so easy to forget him. But we can't forgive our brother and sister. We can't forget him. Now, we got fratricide killing going on in every major city, right? In every major city. Fratricide, meaning brother on brother, sister on sister. This is going on in every major city in America. Every last one of them. Homicide. They call it black on black crime, gun violence. It's going on everywhere. So we can't forget, you can't forget your brother for stepping on your shoes. Right? You can't forget him for that. Can't forget your brother for looking at your girl. She half naked. You mad at him, you kill him because he looked at her. But she naked though. Walking down the street. Or in the club with you. Can't forgive him for that. But these goddamn Jews, this goddamn government, we forget him all the time. Cause what are you saying, brother Ho? Hey, what happened to the boycott with the NFL? Colin Kaepernick still ain't on the team. Yeah, we forgot about that though, ain't it? Hey, listen, the enemy wiped that under the rug so quick, brought Jay-Z out, gave Jay-Z a position with the Super Bowl. We just fell for the trick all over again. Now Ice Cube got some type of pact with them. Huh? We don't even see the trick. We forgave him. But Colin Kaepernick is still not on the NFL team. Our brother, who put his career, his money, his reputation on the line to draw awareness to the suffering of our people by the hands of the police officers. And us as a community, as a people, won't even stand with the brother for 5 years. We won't even stand with the brother. We already back. Oh, man, that nigga crazy. I went in so many other states. Man, that nigga crazy. Ain't no way I'd have did that. Ain't no way I'd have gave up my contract, my money. This nigga was in the NFL. That nigga crazy. No, he ain't crazy. He's a man. You's a simp. You's a faggot. Oh, we gonna talk strong today. Right? That's what you is. No, he's a man. Yeah, that's what he is. He wasn't worried about that. He don't let no money pimp him, control him. So he put it all on the line for us. But we won't even stand with the brother. We got the jersey. Hey, listen, designers, you own all the NFL teams, y'all. Oh, the same banking folks. The same people own the banks. The same people that did redlining. The same people that put subprime loans out. The same people. Yeah. The Bank of Americas, the Wells Fargo's, the Chase Bank. The same people that won't give us nothing. The same people that use our money won't give us no interest. Oh, they own all of the NFL teams. Name me one majority black NFL team out of 32. Just name me one. And if you go to the NBA, you can only name one of those 30 teams that got a majority black owner, and that's the Charlotte Bobcats. Name me another one. Name me another one. All right, Michael Jordan owns Charlotte Bobcats. He don't own LA Lakers, New York Knicks, Houston, Dallas, the big markets. He don't own Charlotte. There ain't no market compared to New York and Chicago and those type of markets. See, we don't even look at it like that. See, there's a science to this stuff. How did the Jew take control, the rulership? How did they become the rulers of America? Once they took over the education system, once they took over the money, then they took over, they move on the politician. Well, really, they had the politician before they took over the money. But once they legalized this theft, because paying taxes is legalized theft. They are robbing us every time we pay it. Think about it. Everything you do with money is a tax. You get taxed at the store. They taxing your income checks. Right? You got state taxes, federal taxes, FICA. You go spend your money, your tax. You buy a car, it's a tax. You got to pay a tax. You pay your light bill, tax. Right? All this stuff is just here. For everything that we do, you go to the store and buy some, tax. Malls, don't matter. Everything is tax. But where is that going? Right? Where is that going? But when somebody like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan comes on the scene telling us which way we want to go, which way we need to go, giving us the correct guidance to overthrow this enemy, then all of a sudden we get religion. Oh, y'all Muslims, I'm Christian. Oh, the minister, they say he anti-Semitic. What is a Semite? If I asked every one of y'all was a Semite, you don't even know. Oh, he racist. How you gonna call another black man racist? You gotta know how silly that sound. Oh, he racist. I'm gonna say I'm a black person, but I'm gonna call another black person racist. When we got records of the nation not doing anything to black, white, brown, whatever, but we got history of America punishing not just us, but all the darker nations around the planet. Where they at right now? Who they fighting with right now? Bet they fighting with a dark nation. Bet they fighting with our brothers in Arabia, in the Middle East, our brothers in Africa. I bet they is. Who America fighting with? They can pull them up, see where they at, and where they fighting at. Right? But they last fight is with Russia, and that's about to intensify. So with these books that we have, now when we talk to y'all about money, some of y'all, we can tell if you studied or not. We can tell, it's like a litmus test. When we bring up money to you and your response is really like a litmus test for us to grade you and see where you really at on the conscious level. Because if you think money is not important, right? Because we say silly stuff. Like, oh, I ain't really worried about money. I can't worry about money. You know what I'm saying? I'm taught not to worry about money. Don't go to work then, brother. Because while you on that job for 8, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, I bet believe you ain't focused on what you want to do with yourself. Best believe that. You giving that time to somebody else's corporation, somebody else's vision. Yeah. So if I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a networker, I'm a business owner, well, we have, what's our focus? What's our aims? We have goals and targets. Right? I'm a business owner. We have a certain amount of sales we have to make, volume we had to get out. We had to generate a certain amount of revenue, right? To stay in business, right? So it's not that nobody worried about money. It's just I'm a business owner, so this is what keeps my business afloat. Right? If we have a down sales month, down revenue month, well, that hurts everybody. Right? That's any business. But since we don't really know business, we just say anything just because it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? We just say anything rather than just saying, hey, man, I got to learn about it. I don't know nothing about this interest stuff. I don't know nothing about compound interest. I don't know nothing about leverage. I don't know. Teach me, because we all had to learn. So how do we learn? Well, I was telling the brother today, I used to be heavy into sports before the minister tapped me on the shoulder and told me to stand up and be myself. I used to be heavy into that stuff. So I ain't condemning nobody for doing it, right? And I ain't condemning you doing it. But if you put that over coming to get some financial education and looking at something that can advance you financially, which will take you further than where you at right now on the physical level, everything. And you say, no, you ain't got time for that, but you sit and watch a whole football game or watch a football game, period, then your priorities messed up. Your priorities messed up. But if you do what you need to do with your business and all of that, and then you want to take a break and you want to watch some sports, all right, cool. Right? We know everybody ain't going to come with us and fight the Jews. We know that. We know that. We know everybody stand up and say they with the minister. That ain't true. It's a thin line between worshiping and falling. Some of us fall in a personality worship type of box because it ain't about truth is the authority. What's right is the authority. It ain't about I like this personality. He's saying something true, then I got to adhere to it. I got to listen. My brother, he ain't saying it to me for no other gain. Why? Because hey, a person like me, I never take no credit for anything that come out of my mouth or anything I'm doing. Why? Because I didn't invent it. So I just read it and comprehended what I read and know how to apply it. So this book here, this is the #1 financial book that we need to get to understand about money. Now, I know a lot of y'all, some of y'all probably read it. And some of y'all that been following me, nobody in the nation, outside of the nation, promote this book harder and put this book in our face more than me. Been doing this for years now, right? And I know some of y'all probably been listening to me for years and still ain't went and bought the book. Or if you bought it, you ain't cracked it open yet. All right? Then I know some of y'all have read it, but we can tell by what you're doing. Do you understand it or not? Because if you understand it, you will be trying to run and join FardMoney Network, as soon as you unlocked it, you've been calling me the next day. Man, sign me up. I'm getting down with y'all. I don't care. I got to get off this job. I got to get out of this here. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of paying taxes. I'm tired of not having you understand. When we bring you and say, hey, we created a brand called New Millennium Bankers. Because that's what we doing. Because this old way we doing money, that stuff done. So if the Zionist Jew took over the banking system, they took over the Black American economy, then if we their replacement, then we can learn something from that. As the Most Honorable Muhammad told us to do what? Study the white man. He is successful. The minister has put the spotlight on the Jews as being the most successful of the Caucasian people. So study them. All right. So if they took over the money, so we need to see how can we take over our money then. Now, my wife shared a video the other day. I was supposed to make a short video with it where they was on the news. I think it was Fox. And they was talking about how in the black community is 1.3 trillion dollars that went through our hand in 2021. 1.3 trillion dollars in America. Well, we just could have got 1% of that. Whew, what could we have done with that? What could have been started with that? So as we take control of the banking of our money, of our economy, first step. What's the next step? Take over the education system. Right? Open up black independent schools, black teachers that love black people, so they can teach our babies. And we need entrepreneurial business type of schools, because some of us listen to business people that don't have a business. That's a hell of a thing. You got a professor in college teaching entrepreneurship and he ain't never owned a business. He actually worked for the university while he teaching this. Boy, that's a hell of a thing. He gonna make you a hell of an entrepreneur, right? Because he gonna have you thinking on a small scale. See, when you're a business owner, you go through the trial. Small business owner, you try to get to a big business owner, and you try to get leverage. You feel what I'm saying? So you try to start a network, then you like, oh, I need a system. I need a network. I need this stuff just flowing. You feel what I'm saying? I want to bring people in where they can get rich and get up on my level. I don't want to be over everybody. I want people to come in and go buy me. Why? Because if the whole team can't win, then why are we doing it? Why are we doing it? If we can't reach millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people with something and change their financial life, why are we doing it? Huh? That's why the minister was talking about on that video. Hey, you open up a restaurant, hey, we applaud you. You open up a grocery store, rec center, you get a few jobs out, we applaud you. That's cool. But that's limited. You're not thinking outside of the box. You're not thinking on a grand scale. So that was 30 years ago he said that, when we need billions of dollars to change our condition. Well, that was 30 years ago he said that. How much money is going to take to change our condition today? Trillions. Trillions. Why? Because the dollar is leaking purchasing power. So as we chase the bag, the dollar is losing more and more value while we keep trading time for it. Right? Now selling the product gives us the most profit. Now the Jews, that's how they started. They came selling product. They took over the cotton industry. In Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, they took over the cotton. And they were sending cotton back to New York. Right? That's where they put their base at. They put their base in New York. On the East Coast. Right? They put their kingdom, their palace in the South. Why? Because the South was the richest part of the country. From Texas all the way to Florida. Including Tennessee. Some parts of Kentucky. So they put themselves there. Arkansas. Some parts of Oklahoma. all of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, some parts of Virginia, everything below the Mason-Dixie line, as they call it. See, they put there. That was the palace. That was the heaven for them. But the base to get them started before they took over the South, they set up in New York. That's why right now, New York is one of the strongest Jewish populated states and cities in America. But we don't peep that sign, though. We don't peep that sign. All right. So now they kind of moved out of the South, but they still got the institutions and the systems in place, so they still control it because they controlling the money. Oh, this thing is deep. All right, but we don't just got this. Now, this one is The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, How Jews Gain Control of the Black American Economy. On the back of this is a quote from Prophet Muhammad from Arabia, who the Holy Quran, the scripture book of the Muslims, was revealed to. May Allah be pleased with Prophet Muhammad. Now, there's a quote from him. He say, one learned man is harder on the devil than 1,000 ignorant worshipers. Woo. Then we have a sub book, How White Folks Got So Rich, the untold story of American white supremacy. Now, if you white or even Jews on the line, we not specifically talking about you. Because if you don't know some of this stuff I'm saying, then they control and they got you in the box too. You might have a little more privilege than me because your skin color, but they still have enslaved you too as well. You're not in the elite families where they raping you too. Okay. Now, when it was something called prime loans, and we're going to talk more about these subprime loans Tuesday night, which you want to tune in too, because we're going to pull the cover all the way off of Bank of America. All right. The second biggest bank in America behind what? JP Morgan. Make no mistake about it. Subprime mortgages. White massive 3-card mollies. Page 63. See, it's all right here. So let's go to it and find out the players in this real quick. And I just want to read y'all to the, can I read something else in it? Subprime mortgages. White's massive 3-card molly. The awe-inspiring theft of black wealth reached the heights of perfection during the 2008 recession engineered by the banking and finance industry. Scammers like Roland E. Arnault, the billionaire owner of AfriQuest Mortgage, target blacks with subprime mortgage schemes designed to exploit their dreams of home ownership. Subprime mortgages are high-cost loans offered to home buyers with lower credit rates, which banks exploit with higher interest rates and fees. Blacks overwhelmingly were steered by mortgage brokers into those financial traps, even if their credit and income were preliminary, wasn't reasonable. They didn't really have the income. They didn't have the credit score. Now, this was in 2008. Before 2008, when they set this up, it just hit the fan and bust 2008, 2009. But check this out. Bank of America just opened up some cities to give out 0 down mortgages to blacks and Hispanics in about 5 to 6 major cities. Miami and Chicago being one and two of them. Now, this one said they were just doing it with low credit scores in this here. So the broker's if you're in that area, they're gonna try to get you into that 0 down on the mortgage. Y'all don't see the trick. All over again, baby. It's all over again. It's all over again. Now, what bank was America Quest involved with? That's what I want to find. I want to find so we can move on. Listen at this. Black borrowers in Atlanta were charged $745 more in fees than white borrowers with similar credit histories and qualifications. In 2012, Wells Fargo paid a $175 million settlement following relations that mortgage broker working with Wells Fargo's had charged more than 30,000 Black and Latino borrowers across the country higher fees and rates than they had charged white borrowers who posted the same credit risk. A Pew Research Center study found that the wealth of Blacks plummeted 53% during the Great Recession. So we lost more than half of our wealth during the Great Recession. And we headed up on another recession now. But hey, don't worry about money though. You ain't focused on money. No, don't worry about money. No, you just working. You ain't worried about money. No, you ain't worried. You just working. You ain't worried about money. You don't want no money, but you just working. You just going to work. You don't really want no money, right? Because you don't want to worry about it. Well, we is crazy as hell. All right. Now, the subprime mortgage scam involved a cross-section of white financial firms selling high-rated but bad risk bonds to investors with promises of huge gain. Financial predators with prominent names like Bank of America, America Quest, and Countrywide stirred Blacks into high-interest mortgages on overappraised homes. Bank of America is mentioned here. Now, this is what I just told you. Bank of America just said that they finna give out 0 down mortgages to help the Black community and the Hispanics in 5 major cities. You can go to Google to Google it. We're going to talk about that Tuesday night. We're going to talk about that Tuesday night. But they in this book with the subprime mortgages scam, where these people got away with billions of dollars and nobody went to jail. Don't you try it. You're going to be under the federal prison system. They're going to put you in the ADX up in Colorado up underground. You don't get no daylight. If you try it, me try it, right? Yeah. But Bank of America coming back out. Nobody went to jail in Bank of America. Nobody went to jail from America Quest, Countrywide. Nobody went to jail. Oh, no. They might have paid a fine or something. They ain't go to no jail. Right? But Bank of America doing it again? Because we forgot. It was over 10 years ago. Hey, but listen. We ain't going to let you forget. We ain't going to let you forget. So if you make that choice again, you won't be able to say nobody warned you. Because before then, we ain't probably didn't know that was going on. But listen, it don't stop there because it gets better. Now, we talking about the Jews. How did they gain control? Well, they came and took over the slaves. And they had a major hand in this. So we have another book called Jews Selling Blacks. Now, everything in these books is documented stuff from Jewish rabbis, Jewish historians, Jewish professors, not from the Nation of Islam. The research department of the nation just put this stuff together. Now, this book here is so heavy, Amazon is banned on Amazon, so you can't buy this on Amazon. That's how heavy this is. Amazon got everything on it, right? Not this. They took this down. All right? And it's a 3-part series. This is part 2, which is the most powerful one that will unlock how they set up the white supremacist structure systems. All right? And if you fall victim to it, it don't really matter about your race. So now look at this. On the back of this, it say, the Jewish Encyclopedia, the cotton plantations in many parts of the South were wholly in the hands of the Jews, and as a consequence, slavery found its advocates among them. Y'all want me to read that again? From the Jewish Encyclopedia. This from them. It's their encyclopedia. The cotton plantations in many parts of the South were wholly, I mean they don't own it at all, in the hands of the Jews, and as a consequence, slavery found its advocates among them. Jews selling black. All right, now we're getting ready to come to a conclusion. But we've been talking about the problem. We've been trying to wake us up, but this is New Millennium Bankers. We have a solution, if it's not the solution, in our humble opinion. But we know we got a solution. But we can argue and debate or dialogue with anybody that we have found the solution right now. Not something down the line, not something we working on, is already here. And we already doing it. Okay. So we feel that we do that. That's what Project Exodus 10,000 is all about. It's all about us finding 10,000 serious people that really want to help close the wealth gap, that really want to help us get our people up and moving, and really want to get rich. We won't relinquish that. Yeah, we on a get rich trip. We on a get rich scheme. I didn't say scam. We ain't scamming nobody. That's against our morals, our ethics, our religion. It's to scam and beat anybody. So that ain't what we about. All right. But we are scheming. And a scheme is just a thought out plan. You can look up the word for yourself. All right. You got to take my word for it. Go look up the word scheme. It's a thought out plan. So plan and scheme is a synonym. They related words. They interchangeable. All right. So now our plan and our structure is Project Exodus 10,000. 10,000 individuals and families we want to help take to financial freedom within the next 6 months. All right. By March the 1st of 2023, we want to be at this 10,000 number. So if you're listening, why not come and participate? What I need to get started, where's different levels of variance you can vary with, right? We do have a referral plan where you can build a business on the products that we have. And we do have big, lucrative income, passive income opportunities. Passive, meaning you have to do nothing. Put your money to work. We offering interest on deposit, which we will talk about more in the morning. So come back in the morning. We're going to give you this stuff. Come back in the morning for Crypto Mornings, and we're going to talk about how Russia has legalized crypto. This is big. Wartime is here. Wartime is here, right? So America and Russia got to collide. They got to hit. You know, like you got to do these two pit bulls. They two pit bulls. They two superpowers. And they both Caucasian nations, and they got to go to war. They got to. They got to. They policies, they government is just too different. So they can't find common ground. Russia want to rule. And they don't want to be ruled by America. America want to stay in rulership. And it ain't going to happen. Because Russia is not going to back down. They're not going to turn down. So America is going to have to go fight them. Coming soon. And they're going to fight over there in Germany. So if you got children, you got any siblings in it, relative that's in the army, you might want to tell them this day time to make they exited. They need to be talking about exited, getting their honorable discharge, whatever they got to do. They need to be talking about, if it was me, I would literally go to prison before I would go and fight the Russians. Before I would go fight for anybody for America. Wait, we ain't fight. Hey, listen, we ain't got to go over to Russia and Afghanistan and Iran to look for our enemy. We just go to Washington, D.C. Hey, we just go to any state, any major city that got a Federal Reserve Bank in it. And it's 12 of them. We can just go to those cities. Hey, we just go to your local city hall. You feel me? We don't have to go around the world to find our enemy and take up our fight. Right? We ain't got to do that. We ain't got to do that. Russia ain't never did nothing to me. China, they ain't never did nothing to me. Right? What the late, great Muhammad Ali said. Hey, the Viet Congs, they never called me, nigga. You're going over there to fight them for you? Crazy as hell. So our plan is to do this. Now, before we get into our last book we're going to talk about, we got another book here. And the reason I'm showing this book here is Robert Kiyosaki. Our Japanese brother. He's Asian. He not white. Yeah, he married a white woman, but that's his business. But he not white, right? For those that don't know, Robert Kiyosaki is an Asian Japanese man, right? Born and raised in Hawaii. He went to war, fought in Vietnam. He was in the Air Force. All right. He got rich because he had a rich dad that taught him the hidden secrets of money at a very young age. This is how he got rich. Now, Robert Kiyosaki has made his living off of educating people about money, investing, passive income. This is how he made his money. All right. This is how he got his name for writing the famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All right. It's a financial educational book. If you don't have it, you need it. Get it. All right. But listen, one of his latest books, I think this came out in 2008, 2017, 2018, 2017. Let me find it. Copyright. 2019. That's when this book came out. It's called Fake. You ought to get it. You ought to get it. Fake money, fake teachers, and fake assets. How lies are making the poor and middle class poor. Now, Robert Kiyosaki got a YouTube channel with millions of people on it. But how many people really comprehending what he's saying? And why are we not listening to him and doing it? Robert Kiyosaki has publicly said if he had to start over, he would get into network marketing. But you scatter the network marketing. But this is what a millionaire, multi-millionaire said. All right, so he write about this stuff. He talk about how fake it is, and he understood it because he was in Vietnam when Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. That's when money became fake. But it really had been fake since 1933. It just was finalized and officially became fake in 71. Understand the timeline. Go back to 1933 and go to 1971 and see what happened. That changed the dynamics of things. All right. And this also solidified the Zionist Jew rule over the American economy. And they already had us because they didn't bust up our unity. We don't want to do nothing united. We don't want to do nothing systematically. We don't want to do nothing when our brother or sister benefit because we do something. We would rather say, I'd rather just go get it from them. What the hell? So you don't want me to get no commission. You would rather get a commission than them, than your brother. See? That's our mindset. But where did that come from? Back to the education system. Back to the public school system. See, they train us to not help one another. That's why you in school, you can't get help from another student. You can't look at your classmate paper for the test. You can't do that. They call that cheating, right? If you looking over somebody's shoulder, they call that cheating. All right, tell y'all a real story about that. When I was in like the 6th grade, had a homegirl. I hope she on here. She probably watch it though. I ain't gonna call her name though. But me and my homeboy Va, I call his name. Me and my homeboy Va. This time, we running around. We ain't number like 12, 13 years old or whatever, right? But we in the 6th grade. And 6th grade, when we got to 6th grade, it was more like a baby high school, like a junior high. So that's how the schools kind of was. This school here was off the chain. All right. So this sister, my homegirl, we had 2 girls in our class, in our homeroom class that we used to cheat off of. One, she used to make A's and B's, and she would only let us get her papers sometime. Matter of fact, she wouldn't give us her paper, but sometimes she would let us really copy. You know what I'm saying? But not all the time. Sometimes she act funny, so we couldn't get her. But we had another sister who used to let us copy whatever we want. She'd give us the paper. She even used to do it for us sometimes. And we used to get C's and D's off her paper. Oh my goodness. Just a little levity though. So we looking at the grade. We like, damn, we just did this our damn self. You still got us down there flocking out here. You feel me? Just a little levity, just a little humor, right? But listen. So The enemy has removed away from us to want to do anything systematically and want to do anything as a group, right? We don't want to do stuff as a group. We don't want. We look at that as, see, we got to. We would say quick, hey, that's a pyramid. Hey, you just got through watching the Sunday night football game. What is that? Do the players make as much money as the owner? Do they? I mean, realistically, do LeBron James make as much money for the Lakers as the Bucks family? Hell no. Don't you get crazy now. They pay him. Right? But we don't say that as pyramid, though. We watch it, support it, market it, talk about it. Right? We don't say that's a pyramid, though. Right? Because nobody benefit from you getting that football jersey, that basketball jersey, going to a Laker game. Hey, your brother don't benefit. Hell, you really don't even benefit. You just had a good time for a couple hours and just throw some money away. Cool, that's what you're into. But when it comes to doing real tangible stuff, we run from that. Group stuff, I ain't got time. I got to go to work. Damn, man, when you going to do something for yourself? When you going to unite with your brother and do something for yourself? And when we going to do something for the whole and stop thinking individually? I need these little cliques. See, we got a network. There ain't no little group of us. No, we had the ability to have thousands and hundreds of thousands, millions of people can come and get in our network tonight. There's no limit. And there's no limit to what can go on in the network. And no limit to how much money they can make. These are the factors. This is what we're saying. This is thinking for the whole. Think on a broader scale. Our people need money, income, all across the board. So how are we going to get down to the little man? How are we going to get our people out of the fast food, deaf restaurants? How are we going to get to that? How are we going to do that? How are we going to shut that stuff down as deaf? We know it's deaf. Some of us don't. Right? But some of us know it's deaf. But we might allow our children, they turn 15, 16 years old. You say they need a job. I want to know why your child is 16 need a job. You got them paying bills for you or something? He helping you with the bills? Boy, as long as I got breath, my wife or my children would never have to pay a bill. I wouldn't care if my daughter stayed with me till she was 40. Give a damn. I ain't putting her out because she reached a certain age. The only thing will get her put out if she want to buck the rules and regulations of the household. Now, if she want to buck that, then she got to roll. Right? She can go stay on her own. But still, even doing that, I would go put her in the home. I would go buy the home out of a condo or the apartment to put her in. And probably still pay her rent. That's just me, though. You feel what I'm saying? I have a wealthy, rich man type of mentality. But as long as they're abiding by the rules and regulations and the codes that we go by, they don't have to leave. Why? Because it's theirs anyway. I got it and did it for them. So I'm not putting them out. We got a family business. We got brands. We got networks that they can plug into, that they can run. And they don't have to be a certain age to run it. We just had to teach them how to run it. They can run it when they 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. Hey, this is what the Koreans do, don't it? And this is what the Japanese do, the Chinese do. You know, go to a Japanese restaurant and look who served you. Go to a Korean restaurant and see who's serving you. See who at the cash register. Somebody about one of their little child, they children 10, 11 years old, running the show. So it's no different with our business. So, boom, this is my family business. You ain't tell me that my child can't do this. No, what do you mean? It's a family business. You feel what I'm saying? So they can't go work for nobody else. That ain't even on the agenda. That ain't even an option. That ain't even a thought process that they will ever experience. This is the mindset we got to have. I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, I don't know how we going to make it today. Because we don't have that will to conquer. We don't have that will to rule, to do what it takes to be on top. We don't have it. Right? We too passive. We too okay with things that ain't important. But the important stuff, we put that on the back burner. If y'all see me looking off on YouTube and Facebook, I'm on IG as well. If you're on IG, you see me looking down, I'm on Facebook and YouTube. So listen, but we coming to a close. So we have the system. We have the thing that we could help use some of the things, the tactics that the Jews used to take over America. And we're not trying to take over America. We're just trying to take over our own economy while we in America. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bridge and close this wealth gap. And we have a clear-cut path to do it. And we are doing it. We are doing it. That's what Project Exodus 10,000 is about. But I had to bring this out. Now, this is a book that I know been overlooked. It ain't that big of a book either. Now, how many know about this book here? All right. How many know about this book here? The National Agenda. And this just wasn't put, it was put together by Christians, Hebrews, Muslims, Pan-Africanists. This was put together by them. It just wasn't put together by the nation. The thought and the idea, yes, of course, it came from the minister, but this was the 5th year anniversary of the Million Man March, because the Million Man March 1995, the historical black-tastic event that took place in Washington, D.C., where nearly 2 black men came to the Washington, D.C. Mall on a Monday. And we officially named that one of the Nation of Islam holidays, or one of Black America's holidays, called the Holy Day of Atonement. The minister called for 1 million and nearly 2 million showed up. Real facts. So 5 years later, after everything that went on from the original Million Man March, it had to be some tangible stuff put into place, put into action. So we got the national agenda. The national agenda. Now, in the national agenda, this is the start of our governance. This is the start of us setting up these systems that we need to be sovereign or be independent of the American systems. So in here is all of that. I mean, and from, let's look at it. Political empowerment, family and public policy, justice issues, strengthening the family, quality of life, economic transformation, international affairs. It's showing, it's detailed in here. It ain't big, but it's like a blueprint for us to really focus on these systems in these ministries. Governments are ran by ministries, for anybody that think that has any. See, the problem with us, we want to separate spiritual, political, socially, education, and economics from everybody. You can't. That's what make up a government. Every nation has it. The spiritual should give direction and inspiration to the political. So if the spiritual is right, then if they give birth to the political, then the politician won't be whores. They won't be bought out and sold out. They will speak for everybody. They will do what's right for the nation. That's what the politics would do if it's directed by the spiritual. And that will be inside of the education system. So the economic system would make sure that the wealth flow right to everybody, not just some. See, this is what this capitalist nation, America, has got set up, but really this is what the Jews set up. They wanted it like this. They wanted some to be able to make it, some to be able to have more than none, the others, than most. Why? Because they want to control it. It has never been a wealth problem on the planet. It's only a distribution problem. Nobody has seen to be able to distribute it out. But listen, all of this stuff in here, we can set this stuff up and put it on the blockchain. Medical, we need stuff for youth, diseases, employment, welfare, all this stuff is here. All this stuff is here. Talk about business and economic development. See this here. This is what a nation deal with. Agriculture. Yeah, we need land. Who the hell gonna say we don't need land? But hey, why not let's focus on some capital and go and get all the damn land we want instead of penny pinching? Okay? Let's focus on some capital. Because we go get some land today and it ain't developed, then we ain't gonna be making no money. So if we get the capital, then we can get the land and go ahead and put the development on there so the land can start producing enough money off the top. Revenue. You feel what I'm saying? So it's cool to get some land. But then we're gonna still need money to develop it and put stuff on it, manufacture stuff on it, right? So ain't nothing wrong with getting land, but hey, if it ain't paying us immediately, then it's a long-term thing. We need it now. We behind. We losing. We not winning. We behind. So I don't have time to give you $10,000, $15,000 on some land and it don't bring me nothing back. Where's a system over here where I can put that money in, I can grow that money, compound that money in a short time to 6x its value at that time. So now I can come, okay, I can say, boom, I'm going to do this here. Instead of giving you the 10 grand, I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to delay the gratification, year and a half, then I'm going to grow that. That's going to grow without my effort, without my work. Just me putting it in the system. It's going 6x. So now I'm going to come back. Now I got even more to deal with y'all to put up on the land. And see, if everybody did that, then we can buy the whole damn country. And we can have stuff developed on it already. They can get to work. We can have the capital to put this stuff to work in action off the top. And that's what this book is called. Million Family March, the National Agenda, Public Policy Issues, Analysts, and Programmatic Plan of Action. Programmatic Plan of Action. See, the minister is a man about action. He's not a man about stagnation, procrastination. Because as long as we procrastinate, more people are getting evicted, more people are dying, more people are getting strung out on drugs because they can't cope with the realness and the reality of life. So, the faster we can go, the faster we can help save more people. Money is always just a tool to help save more people. Right? This is just a tool. There's a tool. We can do more with more money, right? We can open up that homeless shelter. We can open up that apartment for our brothers and sisters coming out of prison, get them a place to stay. Get them some decent transportation so they don't have to go back in the streets. Because listen, the average brother that go to the prison, and I know this from experience, there's no rehabilitation in the prison system. Not real rehabilitation. That's not there. Because it was never designed to really make the prisoners come out and be better citizens. It ain't designed for that anyway. It's designed to keep it perpetuating, right? So they know that the average person that go to prison, when he come home, he going to be dealing with the same folks, same family member, pretty much going to be in the same position. They ain't going to have nothing to give. His record going to keep him from getting any job. Some get lucky and get decent jobs, some don't. Majority don't. Most don't, right? And they know that those same people that he was dealing with that got him locked up, they pretty much probably still out there doing the same thing. You feel me? So if the community doesn't really come together to embrace those brothers and sisters when they come home, well, the streets there. We can't clean up the streets like that. This is what we have to do. How you gonna be living an average life and you gonna go talk to your brother over here selling dope, making $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and you telling him, hey man, put that down. We got this job for you. You know what I'm saying? That don't add up. You got to find something that's gonna match his income for him to even consider it. And if he don't consider it, we present something better. Now we can give him an ultimatum. Right? Yeah, this is what we can do. Then we can really force the change and stop the violence by forcing the change. But if we can't present to them nothing better, if they can get richer than what they already doing, then hey, it's just gonna be a revolving door. It's gonna be a recycle, a repeat. These are the facts, man. You know what I'm saying? These are some of the things that we had to deal with. See, I come out of that mindset, I come out of that street mentality. So I'm telling you how they operate. Nobody, I got so many homies that come out of prison that go back. I did it 2 times. My first 2 times going to prison, I came right out and went back. Because I went back to the same community, same environment, and I didn't change while I was in there mentally. Right? I might have thought I was a slicker criminal, but I actually got locked up faster. Why? Because I don't know. Not really thinking too clear. Couldn't have been thinking too straight to come back out and risk your freedom all over again, right? Knowing how it is in there. Knowing what's going on in there. Knowing you've seen people that didn't never make it out. You feel me? And I also got some homeboys that they might go clean and go get a job, but their mentality is pretty much still the same. They just would rather, if they do something, they would rather do it without getting caught. So they would try to be more on the DL with their street activity. Because they still do the same thing. So, you know, they get shot up, they get locked up, get into it at the club. They still do the same. You go in the club, drinking, smoking. Well, what the hell you think gonna happen? Oh, I'm chained. Why you in the club then? You 40, 50 years old, you still in the club? You still in the club at 50, 45, 41, 42. You got grandchildren, children grown, you in the club with them. They 18, 19 years old, you in their club. Like for what though? Like we did that. Why we got to come back to that? Now let's do something more meaningful. Instead of throwing that money away, still drinking and smoking alcohol and just getting fly and drinking alcohol and just getting fly just to go in the club and look good, take pictures, listen to the same garbage music that had us doing it. Why not let's come together and do something meaningful and really make a change in the community, right? But hey, you know, they don't listen to me. So they come home and they end up going back, doing the same thing. I try to tell them, come on over here, right? Why? Because I done did it. Come on over here. We got something popping. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing my history, making something happen, right? I ain't telling you come join the nation, but come do what we doing on the money tip. We can go and save more people. We just want to cry about the city. And now I'm out of Birmingham, and Birmingham is one of the worst cities to live in when it comes to violence. One of the worst. Definitely top 10, probably top 3, top 5 in the whole United States. But hey, they look at me down, you know, I try to bring them in, they don't even respond back. They just look at it. So you know what's gonna happen. Yeah. It ain't gonna be too long. I'm gonna be hearing about some of them locked back up. I'm gonna be hearing about some of them dead. You feel me? I go to the funeral. That's it. That's just how it's gonna be. That's how it is. Because you don't want to change. You just got a job, but your mentality hasn't changed, and you don't want to do nothing meaningful so we can help clean up the streets that we help dirty up. Oh, I'm just out here. No, man, that's bigger than that, man. Bigger than that. Our young folk don't want no job, so that's what they don't want, and they don't want religion. They don't want those things either. So what do we have to do? Well, let's bring them something that they want. They want to be able to do what they want to do, rightfully so. You feel what I'm saying? They want to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So these are the things and factors of life. We want to make real change. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say, like, it's a brother down in Tampa. He might get on this stream. I met the brother. He was an activist in the community down here. But he was still doing stuff like smoking weed, you know, drinking and stuff like that, right? Might be messing with the girls throughout the projects or whatever like that. But he was always telling me how they won't help him. The community they won't listen to him. The youngsters won't listen to him. I'm saying to myself, well, you gotta be an example. You're not an example of what you're trying to get them to stop doing. Yeah, you're gonna tell them to stop you smoking weed. You trying, well, how they gonna listen to you? They can't, you doing the same thing they doing. Right? It ain't about the weed. It's about if you're gonna be on that activist tip, you got to be clean, man. That's the only, you got to lead by example. Period. That's the only leader you got. You got to lead by example. You got to lead by example. If you're not willing to lead by example, don't even try to lead. Because black folk gonna take you down through there. They're gonna take you down through there. And if you're not strong enough to survive, to withstand it, then you're gonna find yourself condemning them, arguing with them, fighting with them, backing out, stopping the revolution. The revolution is a change, man. That's right, Miss Johnson. Take real change. Real change takes work. But this is what we got to be willing to do. Now, when somebody just brings something that can help us on the economic tip, because we got to figure out how to get the money out of the way as an issue. Because as of right now, we can't set up patrol in the community. Why? Everybody got a job. So who gonna go out there and patrol and police the community for free? Right? I ain't talking about going away, because we gotta do this for ourselves. But who gonna do that for free when they gotta work? Well, I gotta feed my family. I gotta do this. So you gotta take some of us. It takes long. It takes harder because our people don't really know what unity look like. So we gotta do it. We gotta put all the work in and do everything we gotta do, which takes longer. It's more of a struggle. So I gotta get it because I got the vision. I got to get the money myself. People won't back it. They won't come in and get it because they don't understand the vision. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't really have a vision. They just live it. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have a vision. They don't really want to do nothing great. You feel what I'm saying? Like I was in that position one time before. So I got to get all the capital up. I got to get the millions of dollars, the billions of dollars, and I got to set up these companies. And I got to employ the people that want to work. All right, that's what we got to do. Because we don't get help from our loved ones and the people we know for real. We don't get that type of help. We don't get that support. Now, if I was selling t-shirts, something like that, you know what I'm saying? Hats. They'll buy that stuff there, but we talking about getting money together in a system. They find all type of reason not to do it. Oh man, you ain't rich yet. But damn, Negro, if you got in, I probably would be rich. Nigga, you ducking. Hell, I gotta go and make new friends. Take it longer, right? But I ain't gonna stop. Why would I stop? Once you experience this freedom lifestyle, you're not gonna go back. If you really experience it and really understand it, you ain't going back. I don't care what the situation do. You feel what I'm saying? That's why we accumulate assets. Assets is always something that we have to fall back on. Assets is a real savings. And we dealing with assets on the blockchain, we can liquidate at any time. We can sell them at any time. I can get right out here right now and sell some assets and have some paper to go spend, to utilize. So we stack assets. So, because wealth is measured by how long you don't have to work. So I'm not specifically cash rich yet, but I am wealthy. I haven't worked a job in 5 years. So how much wealth is that? Well, brother, you living in an apartment. You damn right I'm living in an apartment. For down. Care about that? Why you didn't get a mortgage? You didn't watch the beginning of this video? You didn't see the beginning of this video? We're not doing the mortgage in his house, man. Only way I would even consider a mortgage if I had enough passive income to pay it off. If we ain't got enough passive income coming in here to pay it off, we not doing the mortgage thing. Why? Because we not doing the mortgage thing. Because we not going to allow those Jews to 3X us on the house. Because that's what they say they do. They say for every house that they sell, they get 3. So we not doing that. So we beyond that. We're gonna focus on the capital and go buy. I'm gonna buy the house outright. I don't want no mortgage. Well, you need equity. That's why I got assets. All the extra funds I get, well, not even all the extra funds I get. The majority of the cash I get go into more and more assets. I have a goal to become a billionaire. And I won't stop till I do it. I don't care how long it takes. Not gonna stop that. Yeah, I said the bar high, said it big. Why not? I seen a white man make $10 billion in one day. I'm pretty sure over a 3 to 5 year span, I can come up with $1 billion, right? If he made 10 billion in one day, damn. Like 10 billion. Like Elon Musk made 10 billion in one day. Came back 3-4 months later, made 8 billion. 8 billion in one day. Can you imagine that? So I'm pretty sure with my brain power and what I know, I can figure out how to get to 1 billion. Damn. All right. What's stopping me? You know what I mean? Elon Musk must be the supreme being or something. Right? He ain't my supreme being, so he just is the same as me. But how did he get in? Well, he invested in the PayPal early. He made his first billion from PayPal. A lot of folks don't know that. Elon Musk made his first billion from investing in the PayPal early. He didn't even come up with the Tesla car. He stuck with the project and bought the project out from the original founder of it. Oh, yeah, man. Y'all got to study the history of these folk, man. Because this is the path we had to get on while we got time. But the blockchain is changing things. Now, the blockchain is not changing things. The blockchain, the blockchain has changed things. You feel me? That's what the blockchain did. The blockchain has changed things. And it'll never go back to the way it was. COVID has changed things. It'll never go back to the way it was. We probably will always see people wearing masks. Right? People are always going to be looking around when people coughing around them. You're going to be looking crazy. That's going to pretty much always be the norm now. You feel me? So the block thing has changed things, but that's for us, though. Because now we can speed up the wealth transfer because we really got to speed up because this whole system finna bottom out. So we're not in position to take some ownership rights, to take some rulership rights. Then when it bottom out, man, we're going to be in the worst position ever then. So either you in the best position or you in the worst position that you could possibly be in. And not having any assets, not having a distribution network, not having any cryptocurrency. You're not involved in crypto. You're not in the metaverse. Whew. You don't know nothing about blockchain. Okay. You feel me? So, family, how did the Zionists, so-called Jews, become the rulers of America? They took over the money. They took over retail. They took over the education system, which led to them taking over the religious system and the political system. Well, they already had the political system before they got the money. So they had the politicians already in their back pocket before they actually set it up. But they set up a system called the Federal Reserve, and it's still running to this day. And it hasn't stopped for 109 years. Finna be 108 years in a couple months before it has a 109-year anniversary. So we just got to do our part. Because it's going to fall. It's falling now. But we got to look for other avenues. How can we get out of this? Where the blockchain is providing us that opportunity. We just have found a very, very strong fintech institution that has its own blockchain and that pays us from everything that the blockchain does. We just have found that. So this is why we put Project Exodus together. This is why we created the brand New Millennium Bankers. This is why we talk like this. This is why we do what we do, because we understand this warfare and what it's going to take for us to get free. And we knowing that freedom has a financial aspect to it, which is really might be the most important. Well, your freedom of your mind and your thinking is the most important. But right behind that, a close second to that, it is the financial freedom. You got to have it to be able to do what you want to really do. So we have to study them. They set up these systems, so we got to all be willing to set up systems. We got to come together systematically. See, because we in a system, but we can get enough capital. We can learn from this system and go start our own. If that's what you want to do, it's a lot of work. Why not just get in this system and let them do all the damn work? They paying us like we started it. Man, y'all don't really understand. They paying us like we started it. I feel like a part owner the much money they paying. I feel like, damn, I'm really a part owner. It's how sweet it is. You can't pay me from all the revenue, the fees, transactions and stuff like that, and I don't feel like an owner. I'm getting paid from transactions, deposit, fees. I'm getting paid from that stuff. The stuff I acquire, I'm getting paid. I got positions in the metaverse, I'm getting paid. Like, you just can't, there's no explanation for the field when you understand. But we have been educated by our enemy, so he would never teach us the signs of money, the signs of business, the signs of warfare, the signs of mating. He never teaches that. That's not in his curriculum. It's not there. Okay? You're going to have to get that. YouTube is your friend. Go subscribe to FardMoney Network. That's your friend. Teaching the science and not charging. But the time might come when we have to start charging. Because if you don't want it and we giving it to you, not so much for free. I mean, it really is. But we try and invite you to the network. Come on in with us. We ain't worried about the free financial education that you're getting by just listening to us. Come build with us. Come help us spread this information to bring more people in, because the more people get a financial education and wake up, the faster we're going to go. The faster we're going to go. And stop thinking you know everything. Stop thinking that you don't need money. Why you think like that? When you going to roll out the bed and go to work in the morning. I ain't going to go to work in the morning. Why not? I ain't got nowhere to work. I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to do my business from right here at home. And I don't have a boss. I am the boss. You feel me? I am the boss. Nobody can tell me, hey, you got to get up here, you got to do this. That's the lifestyle. It's about freedom. It ain't about the money. Well, how much money you made, it don't matter. What I done made ain't no reflection of what you can make in the span time. I mean, it's a reflection of what you can make, but if I might have made $10,000 this month, I mean, you gonna come in and make $10,000. I might have made 1,000. You might come in and make 10,000. I mean, it could happen in this system we got. We just banking on the blockchain. We new millennium bankers. This is a new form of banking. We done with the traditional thing. I went to Coinbase today. They got all type of more stuff on Coinbase trying to get your information and trying to manipulate people to pay taxes on crypto and everything. You got to be a damn fool. You got to just, all you got to do is read. Just read. Right? Just read. Just read, family. All you got to do is read. If you don't understand words, look up the word. See, that's one thing. That's what helped my comprehension. I have been taught and trained that when you're reading something and you run across a word and you don't understand it, stop right then, look it up. It gives you more content, more comprehension to what you're reading. When you understand words and definitions and synonyms to words and related words to these words, when you understand, that's why I got a thesaurus dictionary, but you don't even need that. All you need is your phone. Google got it all. Google got it all. So we want to replace them. How did they become the rulers? To go to banking, to go to retail, to go to education. And they trump card is when they took over the church. When they took over the church, that was it. They got education, they got the church, that's it. These are the two places that they sent us to. They sent us to public school, they sent us to church. And they go out and we go to church and we get put on the cloud. We go to school and we learn about somebody else being great that don't look like us. And it's manipulated, lied history. Half of the stuff we read about the European in the public school system, they never did all of that. They lying. Making us look up to white people. See, white supremacy. It all started with the education. See, if you go to school and you learn about Alex Graham Bell, Albert Einstein, he's a white man. I learned about Martin Luther King. Yeah, you learned about what Martin Luther King did as a Negro. What he did under the name of his master. The one that he grew into, they killed him. We don't know nothing. They don't teach about that Martin Luther King. They teach the Martin Luther King that was the passive brother that actually thought he could reform the devil. But in 66, he went to Chicago and met with a man and had a talk with a man by the name of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and his language immediately changed. It's fact. It's real history. You go see for yourself. We got pictures of him with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in deep thought. Because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, so he started to see the government and the enemy for who they really were. Yeah. So he started to talk different. He put together some boycotts. He started a strategy to try to press them economically. So that's the Martin they killed. He went to dealing with international affairs, tying our suffering to what was going on in Vietnam and all of that, talking about the war. Man, you're a Negro. Sit down. Don't talk about that. Then they kill him. You know what I'm saying? Then they kill him. So this is the things that we got to do. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel for our money. We need about 16 people to hit 1,000. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, family. Hit that notification bell. Get in. You want to know more about FardMoney Network? You can get with the person that shared this stream with you, or go to our website, www.fardmoney.info. So you can get into Project Exodus, because that's our goal. And we will see you in the morning on the next stream. But before we go, let the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan one more time teach us about the enemy.
Says, no, don't integrate with Pharaoh. Dollar. I recognize that we love the Benjamins. So I happened to find a few, and I brought them out because we have become enslaved to the symbolic power of a dollar that really is losing its value every day. We have deceived for this. We have tricked for this. We have lied for this. We have killed for this. At the death of our loved ones, we have fought over this and what this could buy of material things. So today, I want to talk about the dollar. But I want to start with something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, since he's my teacher, and the base of what I'm going to say in his book, The Fall of America. What? A man wrote a book like that? Yes, he did. And on page 87, he talks about the decline of the dollar. Today, if it is the will of God, I hope to be able to show you why we can no longer trust in this as the God we trust. But we better learn, and quickly, who is the God that we should put trust in, because putting trust in this in a few days, you're going to see men with Benjamins lighting their cigars, because the value of this will be worthless. Follow us today. It says, no, don't integrate with Pharaoh, because God has prepared a mighty future for you. It's these same leaders that will oppose the modern Moses, because Pharaoh has already promised them, hang out with me, I'll make you a millionaire. You're going to be a Negro millionaire. Ain't you happy? You're going to be a Negro billionaire. But all the money that you got, I printed. And I can pay you to fight God. And you are dumb enough to think you can win because you have amassed some degree of dollars. Now, all that have bank accounts that you put your hope in, I got me some dollars that I put aside, so when hard times come, I'll be able to do all right. Well, today we're going to see. Now, Pharaoh's wealth had to be destroyed in order for the children of Israel to recognize that Pharaoh didn't have their future. So the wealth of the white man has to be destroyed, so you don't think anymore that they have your future, so you can bow down to them rather than bow down to the God whose finger has moved against their wealth. So the finger of God moved against Pharaoh to destroy the work of Pharaoh, since that was the thing that was holding the slave away from obedience to God. And God had to destroy Pharaoh's power by destroying Pharaoh's wealth. And as it was, so it is. Remember, I read from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the dollar is the number one fall. Now, most of us are bound to America by the promise of material possessions, not the promise of freedom. Come on now. Not the promise of justice, but the promise of material possessions. We want the new car, the designer clothes, the new home in a better neighborhood. These are the things that lure us to the better paying job, so that we could buy these creature comforts, though we're not free. Now, let's take this up to the government of the United States. In 2006, America posted a deficit of $450 billion. How did she get a deficit? She gets revenue from taxing, excise taxes, tariffs, taxes on corporations, trade. She builds her revenue base. All the money that came into the Treasury last year was not enough to equal what she had budgeted for that year. And the money that America took in taxes couldn't even pay the interest on what she already owed. So this is called a Federal Reserve note. They have United States currency, you see it in red, but the Federal Reserve note is in green. And they make sure they get that red one back. Now here you got a note. This is not created by wealth creation. This is created by debt. So the more debt America owes, the more the Federal Reserve gives the engraving corporation instructions to print more money. And the more money that they put in circulation, the weaker the dollar becomes, because there's nothing backing this dollar but the gross national product of America, the symbolic value of America, and the military might of America. That's what backs the dollar. Now hear me. What happened to George Bush's stimulus package of nearly $800 billion? You don't even know where that went. Nobody's saying nothing. Nobody asking. But all of a sudden, our brother is the guilty party for putting America in debt. See, if you don't study, you cannot defend him. If you don't study, you can't help him. America went into debt starting in 1913. She was only $1 billion in debt in 1913, and in less than 100 years, she's $56 trillion in debt. How did that happen? Did Brother Barack do that? In 1913, some bankers, Jewish and Gentile, met on Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia, and they developed what would later become the Federal Reserve Act, which was passed in Congress December the 26th, 1913. And after that, a group of bankers began to control the monetary service of this nation. Oh, they're right around the corner, and where they print the money, and right next door is the Holocaust Museum. Some of you silly ones wonder why. You say, Farrakhan, why are you doing this? You're making it hard for all of us. No. If you don't know Satan, you can't get free from him. Did I say something? See, the book of Thessalonians puts it nice. That day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed. Not the spirit of sin, the man of sin. Sin is transgression of the law. And these, they're not really Jews. No. They've hijacked Judaism. Those that I'm talking about. This is the synagogue of Satan that you will read about in Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. Go ahead and study. They print your money. Used to be a time when we could go to the bank and pull out a $50 bill. I happen to have one. Mr. Grant's face is on it. But it says Federal Reserve Note. But when I was a young boy, it used to be called a silver certificate. That you could take it to the bank, this is paper, and get in return real money. Silver. Take it to the bank now. See, you're being tricked every day. Bring your dollars or your old gold, and we will give you paper. Soon you'll be wiping your backside with paper because real money don't exist. America is broke. She's broke.